Hey there, Abdullah Imam is here, and in today's video I'm going through what's in my designer bag, so hopefully you enjoy it. So I always liked what's in my camera bags videos, so I thought about making a video about what's in my designer bag and what the things I use every day in my job. Just wanted to address that I haven't uploaded for a while, so I apologize about that. It's been a crazy year, and last year I had also a couple of personal things that to deal with. So I'm glad that I'm back now to do more videos, and hopefully you enjoy this one. So without further ado, the very first thing that you need, or it's in my bag as well, of course it's a laptop. Like everyone else, I need a laptop to do the work, but for designers, of course, it's essential. As well as, of course, a subscription to a good software that you'll be using for design, whether Adobe, Sketch, Figma, whatever you'll be using for your designer to do your work. So a laptop is a must. I have the MacBook 13-inch, and I've been using for about a couple of years. I'm realizing I need to probably upgrade since I'm doing more editing and video work, but it's pretty good to start with, or any other PC or laptop, of course, would do. Just not really specific, I guess, specs until it is compatible with the software you're using. You should be good, and the laptop, of course, in my bag at all times. Other thing that I think is very essential to me, because I do sketch a lot and take notes a lot, my Moleskine sketch Notepad. I used the ones that are pretty much like no lines of everything, like the empty blank pages. They're good for taking notes and really great for sketching. I have a bunch of them, and I have one all the time, at least one in my bag. I do use the small versions of it as well for field notes. These are really great if you are in the field doing interviews or design interviews with users, just taking notes on the go. The small version of it are awesome too, so I use it a lot. So the other thing that you will need probably with the Notepad and the sketch, of course, is a really good pencil or pen. I use the Uniball Onyx, and I have one all the time. At least I have a box of them. And for the pencil, this is really great pencil. It could be any pencil, of course, but I really love the mechanical pencil, 2mm, which is pretty awesome and give you a range of different fine lines to maybe highlighting capability as well. This one is really awesome. It's not really a brand or a big brand, but it's really good, and I think I got it on Amazon. So these two things were really obvious. You should have. Also, as you go taking more notes and sketching, you'll find the ones you're comfortable with, the ones you like, and you will keep using them. I've been using this for pretty much my 10 years of working as a designer. One of the essential things to me as well, or in my bag or my pocket, of course, it's just a fifth cell phone or smartphone. Could be, of course, any type, but it's really great if you want to search anything on the fly. Your laptop doesn't have internet, but you have internet on your phone, so it's a simple thing, but it is a considered design tool to use. It's also really important for us as a UX designers when we do design for phones to prototype on it. So iOS is pretty famous to be more or most phone that you prototype on, but of course it will be great if you have, as you go in your career, if you want to have more, to be able to design on multiple ones and prototype on multiple of them. One of the things also that I consider essential is a post-it notes. They are really awesome, and any creative person or designer probably use them on a regular basis. They are great for also user interviews. If you want to do an exercise with the user, they are great for design sprint and workshops with your team, and pretty much everyday work. You'll find yourself really use them all the time. It is the Post-it brand, the yellow one, very simple. I have a bunch of them in my bag all the time as well. And of course, I have the bag itself. So I've been using this Vaughn's bag, pretty much skater bag, I believe so, for quite some time here. They have a lot of good pockets, nothing really special. And of course, any bag you will use, it's pretty much gonna do as long as you're comfortable with it. I like this bag. It has more room as well for my camera. It's not really padded, but I got a separate bag for the camera as well when I just take the camera out to take pictures. Now we can get into the non-essential but really good to have. First thing first, or thing that I have all the time in my bag as well, is my iPad. I find myself using it a lot lately just because it's easy to illustrate or sketch on it, take that to whatever, like slides or presentation you're doing, or also illustrating for some design work, some mock-ups. It's also a great way to just go to the digital note-taking and sketching versus the regular notepad and sketches, but I find myself always go back to the regular pen and paper. It's really awesome for me. But the iPad is essential, not only for that as well, it's for prototyping. You can prototype if you're designing for a tablet, or you want to make sure your designs are responsive and good on the tablet, as well as the phone that I talked about. That also really good to have, but not necessarily you would need all the time. I use the Sharpie pen with the fine point here. They're really awesome to use, also highlighting and great to have, specifically green and red. Red is for the negative actions like delete, for example, or warning. I use the green, of course, for the positive actions, except submit, things like that. That took quite a while. So it's in my bag at all the time, which were really great. Something also that is really awesome to have, but you don't have necessarily to have them all the time. You should have some markers in your bag just in case you use for whiteboarding, of course. Also could be used with the post-it note to sometimes make it bigger if you are working with a team, of course. We are working in isolation right now, so whiteboarding mostly I do through Mural or just slides, for example. And I do it digitally with the team, but it's really good to have. And if you work with in the office, you probably already know that most markers don't really work for some reason in all the meetings room. So it's good to have extra ones for you to use with your team. The other thing that I still find like essential for me to have in my bag, which is not really joking, I do have a keyboard and a mouse in my bag at all time. Not only to use with my laptop, but of course if I have extra monitor it will be really great, but it's much easier for me to use the mouse and the keyboard even if I'm in a coffee shop or used to go to a coffee shop and design there. You'll find it really useful to have these the keyboard and the mouse that you're used to work with at all time. It is essential for our design work, so it makes sense for me, even though it takes some space in my bag, but it doesn't take so much. But at least I have my own keyboard and mouse at all time if I use it on my laptop or Macs or other desktop, for example. So the other thing that I think is really important to have with you, and it's pretty much for any techies, not only designer, is a good headphones to be able to listen to music while you're working, but also it's useful for meetings, for example, if you're in a loud place that you can just cover and be in the zone as you are designing. These one I used to use, but actually the ones I'm using now currently are Sony. But they're really great. Even just regular headphones, doesn't have to be the big ones or the ear cover one. It's really important to have just a headphone. So that's also in my bag at all the time. One of the things you'll find yourself thinking that you will really use a lot, for example, is the template that you can buy for sketching. I had one somewhere, but I think I lost it or I didn't know. I don't know where it is. So that's how much also tells you that I don't really use it. It's just pretty much I will just show an image of it. But I bought this or a bunch of them during my career. They've been in my bag, but I really never used them. I just rather sketch with my hands. Other things that also I bought and I have in my bag for I think years now. I do use it, but I don't really use it quite so often. So I do think it is useful, but not necessarily something you would use on a daily basis. And it's pretty much the color index. So this is the color index. I have one of them. There's a bunch of them out there. It's mostly useful also if you do print work. I don't, but at the same time, it's really awesome to just like go through and see the color pattern and the combination that works well together. Kind of inspire some of the visual design work if I need to. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know what other tools you use on a daily basis and what's in your designer bag. Leave a comment if you would like to make sure that everyone knows these are not sponsored. This video is not sponsored by any of this product that I mentioned. It's just a product I love and I use on a daily basis, and I have them in my bag, or I used to have them in my bag before we actually all work from home. And there's no affiliation links, but maybe I will put a list in the description of the things if you would like to check them out. Just the name, and you can search and you can buy it from whatever online store. Thank you so much again. This was Abdallah Man, and I will see you in the next video.